Drew Spence, Dynamic Spider-Man Plus. When we last left off, we had Doc Ock in one of his old experimental labs, buried out in the desert, was attacked by authority forces sent by Victoria Vassar to eliminate him and make the cover story they put that he died in an industrial accident. They wanted to make that story true, so they sent out a team to get rid of him. And he has his moments of flashback and destroys the team. Now we're back to this week's upload. We have Peter Parker, who has just left the hospital, returns home. And remember, he was given a message basically indicating that somehow the mayor is involved. There's really terrorist attack. There's a lot more going on. The police are involved. It's very confusing to Peter Parker, who is now, sitting here trying to put this all together. Now, the Daily Bugle sent him to the hospital to get a story for the cover of their paper about the industrial accident. And he's been given this bombshell of a news story, which is, way more serious than him having an affair. This is now super crazy. And if you remember, Ben said that too, that him having an affair may be the least of his evils. Well, it seems that he's wrapped up. Something is going on. Are the police helping the terrorists? Is the military involved? How is this all going to figure together? He's trying to figure it out. Mind is a bit clouded, and he realizes the light keeps turning back on in his living room. He heads in. He's thinking of what he's going to write for the headline. So this is a funny, paradox that now he needs to come up with a fake story for the headline about the passing of this a police officer. Like, how do you explain that? She drops a bombshell. He can't run to the Bugle and say, hey, I'm going to blow this story wide open. He'll basically sound as crazy as Ben did. So he's going to write something for her last words to be really, really meaningful and poignant. And he's thinking about that. What she should be saying, because he's not going to put out the story that he's been given. And as he thinks about it and comes up with an idea, he realizes it's just very hokey what he's doing. And he's interrupted by Charlotte. This shot is a view. This is a view of what she would see through her fish eye lens, somewhat distorted. It's a lot of fun putting this together to get to this moment. A lot of times you'll see a moment in your head. It's like, I can't wait to get to the time where I'm going to show them this, and then it arrives and it's like, yeah, it comes out as good as I was hoping. I love this moment, Just that you could just see this drone talking like such a little girl AI. She says, I have a good mind to sock you one, Peter Parker. Sock you one. I love that phrase. But yeah, so she explains that she is the AI personality that Ben was talking to. If you remember, it seemed as though in the beginning he was having some kind of affair. But we find out. And then when he went inside the corporation, he was snooping around. Her AI communication was guiding him forward and was helping him along. And this is who he was there basically to rescue. The person who said they were in a black box at the end of the hallway. And that AI, during the attack, hops out, gets inside the first drone they can find that operates properly and escapes the building. And where do they go? They go see Peter Parker, because that's who Ben was always calling. Ben would reference this Peter Parker that he would always try to call. So she goes there to get help. You're my only friend. Can I stay here? And he, shocking as it is, he goes, yeah. She goes, great, I'll get my things. And her things end up being luggage. And here's an interesting point. She's got adhesion pods that can actually stick to walls. So she's able to climb and stick to walls, rather naturally. And she's brought him a bunch of stuff that, she grabbed on the way out. Spare parts, repair kit, small arms, ammo, schematic manual, and my T2 Turbo Teddy. The T2 Turbo Teddy is what she brought with her. The T2 Turbo Teddy looks like if it's this little teddy bear over here that she's brought. A little child might have a teddy bear. And the lens, LENZ. And he finds out that this is a very cool visor set that you've probably seen. You know, and of course, the music related to everything that we do is like a headset with headphones, you know, and a visor set. And it allows him to break down information and see things differently. I love that I did this, like you know, as he closes his fist, you could hear like the sound of that voomp, you know, and it kicks on, and you can see the wire frame, almost like the Matrix with the information running, all sorts of weird data, and he's even seeing beyond it through items. But he's got this crazy visor system that works. And she gives him a note. It's dangerous. Some of the men got sick and then quit the project and disappeared. So this is her understanding of what was happening. If you remember the car drive with Victoria and the mayor, she was saying that they can't find, you know, men that can survive, you know, the serum and also pilot their machines. So there's something going on here. And on her end of it, all she knows that men tried this system out and got sick and then disappeared. Most likely passed on, but, you know, the AI wouldn't know all of that if she's just doing trial runs and just seeing some of the experiments, but not all of them. So he says, my system can combine multiple images into one. Now, you know, obviously you know where this is going. You know, there's a whole thing happening here with the spider motif that I've been building on. Even in the attack, you know that the sort of the mech or machine that came out the ground looked like an octopus, you know, round with the arms. So Doc Ock is building these repair and civil help type units with animals and insects in mind. So he does these themes that he builds his constructs with, his construction type devices with. So it says that she's a rescue and repair drone, part of a network, that she's supposed to be the brain of this repair system that can go out, you know, find a person trapped under something, explore, you know, a broken, destroyed area, find survivors. And the military wing has taken all of Doc Ock's, you know, civil, good, helpful machines and creations and perverted them into something dangerous and machines that they could use for war. So she was supposedly designed to be a repair drone, but the military made it some sort of infiltrator type machine. And he's learning about that as he's reading all the schematics, and he's going to combine his camera that can take, you know, a bunch of pictures and put them together into one clear image, and also this device which can, you know, process the images of 8 different lenses. And he's going to put those together and basically do some adjustments. And he says they got it all wrong. It's like a genius designed this and then let a noober modify it. Yeah, so Doc Ock designed this genius system with all these prototype machines that he was going to use to help society. And then the military took them. You know, they don't know as much as he does. They're not as smart. And don't forget, Peter's he's a genius. So he's brilliantly studying the work of Doc Ock. And it's like, yeah, someone brilliant put this all together. And then the military kind of just clumsily slapped it all together, trying to make something that can be, you know, harmful. But as he's reading it, you know, he figures out that it's the spider bot. SPIDER, you know, BOT. Spider bot. And now part of what they've got is called Silk, synthetic injection lattice cable, Silk. So as he's studying her schematics and he's going over her plans, he's figuring that she can spit radioactive acid onto vehicles or inside of stuff, and she's got weapons, and she's meant to be taking out machines and robots. She's like a battle machine. And he's realizing all of her capabilities. She's got a venom, variable enzyme for the neutralization and immobilization of machinery, VENIM. So she can spit radioactive acid. And as he's checking out the injectors, which is basically the fangs, you can argue, he gets bit or stuck. And now he's been given a dose of radioactive acid accidentally by his new spider bot companion. By accident. And of course, she injects him by accident. He's tinkering around and she spits out some of the silk. She apologizes. She's like, I think I made a mess. And he goes, nah, it wasn't you. I must have hit the injectors. Oh, man, it burns real clumsy. And she tells him, like, look. And then she spit this silk out and it makes like a spider web netting. And there's her Turbo T-Teddy. And he sees it, he's like, yo, this is crazy. He goes, let's go over the section about this. We might go climbing. You can spit cables, spit webbing. You can climb walls. Like, there's so much to unpack here, literally, that he's like, yo, this might be a way that we can go climbing. And of course, it all begins to come together. If you look in the background with, I put this together, that you can see that the mountain climbing idea of him climbing these quote unquote mountains would be interesting to him. And now you're sort of seeing it come full circle. That as he realizes this, he's like, you know what? I have an idea on how I'm going to put this together and what we're going to be able to do with it. Yeah. And that concludes this chapter. Tomorrow there should be another one. I think we're going to do that. We'll give you the Friday upload, and I'll give you a little recap. You know where this is going. This will be in the next chapter at the beginning of it. And I will see you guys.